Hello, my name is Mike Emery, and I'm the site administrator of Cornwall Iron Furnace. Presently, I'm on the Pemaquid Peninsula on the Maine coast, and that is the reason why I'm presenting tonight via video. The item that I chose for this presentation is a 1932 photo album that contains 103 cyanotype photos with captions. The accession number is CF 2009.4.1, and the album was donated by Rachel Knoll of Annville, Pennsylvania. A cyanotype photo is a less expensive photographic process that is characterized by the photos appearing blue and white. This album bears this type inscription. These negatives were made between the years 1898 and 1900, with the exception of a few later ones as noted. Many of these buildings since then have been demolished, and titles applied were as they were when photographed. While some of these scenes are not exactly in Cornwall, they are, nevertheless, closely related to its local history. October 1st, 1932, Paul Grittinger. It also has a handwritten inscription, property of William J. Knoll, Cornwall, PA. So who were the Grittingers? I want to start with Henry C. Grittinger, whose dates were 1842 to 1920. He was the manager of the North Cornwall Furnace, which was owned by the Freeman branch of the Coleman family, which also owned Cornwall Iron Furnace. After serving the Civil War as a private in the 93rd Pennsylvania Volunteer Infantry, Henry was also a surveyor and scrivener like his father. See the 1870 census for record. And later, he was the manager of the Hackney farm, which was also owned by the Freeman family. He was married to Agnes Coonley, and they had 6 children, including Paul Grittinger, whose dates are 1876 to 1949. In the early 1900s, Henry Grittinger presented 2 papers before the Lebanon County Historical Society that were published into pamphlets that were widely distributed. These were the Cornwall Iron Furnace and the Cornwall Ore Banks in 1901, which was followed by the Iron Industries of Lebanon County in 1904. In the 1901 booklet, Cornwall Furnace and the Cornwall Ore Banks, it was illustrated with 9 images. All of these images are present among the 103 photos that are in the museum's album. Note the blue image from the photo album, as well as the sepia image from the museum's photo archive. Apparently, several sets of these images were made and survive, including those in the museum's collection, as well as that as the Lebanon County Historical Society. It was commonly thought that Henry Grittinger was the photographer, and that his son Paul added the captions at a later date. However, this page from the 1900 census, below in the slide, shows that Paul was in the business of photography, making him the most likely candidate for taking the photos. He would have been between 22 to 24 years old when most of them were taken. The following photos are from the album and show early views of the exterior of the furnace. The photo on the right is captioned, "Boilers atop the furnace stack utilizing gases." The photo on the left has a caption that gives a short history of the furnace, including a recitation of the ownership, and it ends with this last sentence. In 1931, after being restored to its last operation condition, the sole owner, Mrs. B.H. Buckingham, presented it to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania as a historical memorial. Most likely, this is the reason that the photo album was made from these over 30-year-old negatives. The album contains the earliest images that we have from the inside of the furnace. The caption on the left photo says, "Top of furnace stack," showing 18-inch charging hole and gas flue under the boilers. The right photo is captioned, rear of the furnace stack showing tuyere arch, cold blast pipe, and wooden valve gate. The photos are very reminiscent of the way that they look today if you visit the furnace. In this set of photos, the image on the left is captioned "Steam Engine, installed in 1841, superseding water power to drive the blowing tubs." The right image is titled "Wooden Blowing Tubs and Cold Blast Outlets." In these images that show part of the blast apparatus and part of the great wheel, the photo on the left is simply captioned "Gears for operating blowing tubs." The right image is captioned "Wooden crankshaft and axle operating blowing tubs." I will leave you with this final photo from the album. This image is of a naval cannon that was cast in 1776 to 1777 at the Cornwall Iron Furnace, and it was on the property of Mrs. Buckingham's at the time this photo was taken. The cannonballs were found on her property and were the result of test firing of the guns during the Revolutionary War period. These are now items that are in the museum's collection and are currently displayed in the visitor center. Thank you for exploring this piece of Cornwall Iron Furnace's history with me. Thank you.